So what makes an American Girl doll different? Obviously, the dolls all have different hair colors, hair types, skin tones. They wear different clothes, they have different backstories or no backstory at all. But it's really their faces that make them look different from one another. So here are all of the current face molds for American Girl dolls. First, we have the classic mold. As seen on Samantha and Molly, this was the first American Girl doll mold. Now the mold has changed a bit over time. My 2010 Lainey looks different from my 2001 Kit and vice versa. Next we have the Josefina mold, called the Josefina mold because Josefina was the first doll to have this mold. And here is a newer doll with the Josefina mold. I think it looks about the same and is still so beautiful. Next we have my favorite, which is the Addie mold, of course called the Addie mold because Addie was the first doll to have this mold. This is my first edition Addie, my prized possession, but you can see how different the mold looks from the new doll. Next we have the Jess mold, called the Jess mold because Jess, Girl of the Year 2006, was the first doll to have it. The Jess mold is one of my favorites, but it's not to be confused with the Ivy mold. What makes Ivy's mold different is she has these notches in the inner and outer corners of the eye, and the Jess mold does not have these same notches. Next we have the Sonali mold, of course named after one of Krissa, Girl of the Year 2009's best friend dolls, Sonali. I don't have Sonali, I would do anything for her, but here are some dolls that have her face mold. Absolutely stunning. Next we have my beloved Kaya, of course called the Kaya face mold because she was the first doll to have it. We love her. Then we have Just Like You number 4. Just Like You number 4 is the only doll to have this face mold and she is retired. Next we have the Marie Grace face mold because Marie Grace, the historical doll, was the first doll to have this face mold. This face mold was brought out of retirement in 2022 and the Girl of the Year for 2023 has this face mold. Next is the Joss face mold, Girl of the Year 2020, who was the first doll to have this face mold. American Girl has done so many releases with this face mold since 2020, but I'm not complaining because I do think it is really cute. Even the new 90s historical twins have the Joss face mold. Next we have the Nenea face mold, and Nenea, the historical doll, was the first doll to have this face mold. Some Truly Me dolls and the Sapphire Splendor Collector's doll have this face mold as well. Next we have the Corinne face mold, Girl of the Year 2022 was the first doll to have this face mold. Next we have the Makina face mold. Makina from the World by S collection was the first doll to have this face mold. And then last but certainly not least, we have Claudie, who's the only doll with this face mold. Honestly, I'm sure I missed a face mold, but that's it for now. Let me know if you want to see anything else.